said he was gonna let Ron run the meeting.
I never got one either. Okay, I'll call the order of the Sparks City Council meeting of January 22nd, 2018 with a roll call, please.
Mayor Martini?
Can you hear him, Gino? He might be calling me to tell me.
Maybe you got cut off.
Please turn off your phones, please. Can't stand it when they go off like that.
So that was not Mayor Martini?
That's a,
Oh, that's not, I could have said, yeah, Mayor, we'll get
that's
right
a
back to you.
$10 fine.
Mayor Martini, are you there?
Gino,
Okay, so maybe he had to get off.
okay,
Council members Abbott,
Here.
Lawson,
Here.
Smith,
here.
Bybee,
Here.
Deere,
Here.
City Attorney Adams,
Here.
and City Manager Driscoll.
Here.
We have a quorum, thank you.
Okay, is Pete here? Oh, there he is. Come on down, Pete. Pastor Pete Vosler, the Crosswinds Assembly of God Church. Come on down, and everybody will stand for the invocation, please.
Let's pray. Lord, every day we have great opportunities here in this city, and the opportunities are always beyond, or bigger than our mindset and our intelligence. So we pray for divine intelligence, that you would touch the mayor, that you would heal his body and lift him up. Bless all the council members. We thank you for a great police department and fire department that protect us and keep us safe. Just touch this meeting with goodness. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. If you remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Bill, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Ron, I'm here now.
Okay, you're back. Okay. The mayor is here. The mayor is here. Okay, moving on to public comment. I'll open up the public comment period. Anybody wishing to speak, please fill out a card. First up is Anonymous. Come on down. Welcome. And you have 3 minutes.
I'll pick up where I left off. This is the concealed database, and this database is generated for the state of Nevada regarding all domestically violent fathers and husbands. And this database contains 10,000 entries every year, and it was started in the mid-90s, so you can imagine that's quite a few entries. The database is concealed according to the Reno City City Manager, Miss Newby, and she, prior to becoming the Reno City Manager, she was an administrator at Clark County and turned a Clark County manager. She started this contract, and you can see, that's her name at the bottom, and the date, I can put that, is that it was sent to the Clark County Commissioners, was 2014. Well, I can't do this at the same time looking at. So this contract was with Tyler Technologies. Is there any way the camera can pull back to get the document on the screen? And the person that she was working with was Steve Grierson. He's a court administrator. And that contract concealed the domestic violence database. Those are the T court cases. And in 2014, once that was sealed, the deaths of children, and these were children, not all of them, but most of them died through domestic violence. And that is what happened in Clark County. In 2015 was on the same track as the year 2014. The 2015 statistic is just for 6 months. How something like that happens is why Nevada becomes the most domestically violent, or the most violent of the most domestically violent states in the nation. And we've held that reputation for decades. A lot of it has to do with how our laws are written. NRS 200, domestic violence battery, is the husband is only charged with, the husband or father, is only charged with a misdemeanor until the third incident, and if it occurs within 7 years, then it's a felony. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next up, Bill Wagner. Come on down, Bill.
Mr. Mayor DeVee, City Council members, my name is Bill Wagner, and I'm here not to talk about my things that I've been always talking about. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that for a while. I'm here today to thank Ed Lawson and Julie Duo for believing in me and adding me to as an alternate to the Sparks Advisory Council. I believe this team will do great things for the city of Sparks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you for your service.
Okay, Kathleen Shupp, come on down. How are you? Welcome.
Hello, good afternoon, all of you. I was greatly saddened by the decision of the RSCVA and the Washoe County Commissioners to approve the sale of the Wild Creek property to the Washoe County School District. None of this deal is for the benefit of the people of Sparks or Washoe County as a whole. The land is being sold for less than it's worth, but no one is allowed to bid against them for the land. Not only is it being grossly undersold, but the Washoe County School District can purchase land at a much lower rate, like $10 an acre from the BLM, and a much more appropriate location. I know that the huge lack of fiduciary responsibility on both sides of this exchange is not the problem of the Sparks City Council. The reason I'm here is that I'm asking you, our elected representatives, to place restrictions on the Washoe County School District when it becomes time for you to approve their plans. First of all, though, I would like for our city to demand that the school district settle on one location for the school to be built on. As of the meeting that I attended last week, they had 3 places in mind, with the northernmost being their most preferred placement. But they still don't even know how much land they want to steal from their citizens. The original guesstimate was to be about 60 acres, but that has now grown to 78 acres, nearly 80 acres. It's just wrong that not only do they have their choice of the portion of land they want, but the size of it as well. And doesn't it seem to be a bit backward? I think that a person would choose a plot for a building based on the appropriateness of that plot. But they're trying to make a plot appropriate for whatever needs they decide upon. You're the last agency of defense that we have aside from the courts of law. I would like to see many restrictions placed on their building plans. 2 of my biggest concerns are the noise that the games and marching bands are going to generate, and the criminal element that comes with any high school being in an area. And are you guys all okay with the millions of dollars of sewer improvements that's going to be placed upon you, our citizens? I don't have time to list any more of these, but I will be back to devise a list. Thank you.
Thanks, Catherine. Darlene Hess, come on down, Darlene.
Yes, hello, everyone. I'm here again, and you know, the Wild Creek Golf Course is very important. My name is Darlene Hesse, and anyway, I believe like Kathleen, I feel as though that there's some problem going on. We have no idea what it is and how it possibly could have got this far to put a school on that golf course when there's so much available property around. Now, every day, I hear so many times on the news, on the television, on the radio, all these people that are moving to town. We're going to need a golf course. We'll never have a beautiful area like that again. It isn't so beautiful right now because it's been allowed to be run down. The RSCVA has not taken very good care of this golf course. It just seems to me that they should be held accountable for that. But that property is very valuable property, and for what the school is going to take this property for, that doesn't make any sense to me. And that's another thing that just seems like there's something terribly wrong with this whole situation. And Sparks, I love Sparks. I was raised in Sparks, and I think that the Wild Creek Golf Course would be just a wonderful area to keep, even if it wasn't a school, if it turned into a park. There are so many beautiful animals, so many beautiful birds. It's just a wonderful property. And what this school is going to do to our transportation around that area is just going to be the most ridiculous thing. We sit in our bedroom and look out the window and see the cars. They're just lined up in the morning. And it's just like, how can possibly take this McCarran ever take any more cars? It's just unreal. It's going to be just like bumper to bumper to bumper. It's that right now. I don't know how they can squeeze any more cars in on that area, but it's a shame. And I'm here. I'm going to fight to the very end for this property because I believe in it. I believe it is so wrong to take this beautiful property when there's so much available land around. And I'm going to be here again and again and again. And I know that you guys probably don't have too much, but still it's in the city of Sparks. I'm in Washoe County. I'm in the sphere of no influence, I would say. But anyway, I hope that there's something that you people could maybe help out with before this property's gone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Darlene. Area Overly, come on down. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Aria Overly, and I'm here today on behalf of the Reno Area Alliance for the Homeless, also known as RAW, to bring to your attention that the annual point in time count, or PIT count, is going to be happening this week. RAW is consisted of a number of community stakeholders interested in preventing and ending homelessness in the Truckee Meadows. These stakeholders are from Reno, Sparks, and Washoe County and include representatives from law enforcement, business, providers, the faith-based community, nonprofits, and policymakers, as well as people who are experiencing homeless or have experienced homelessness in the past. Since 2000, the annual point in time, or PIT count, has been used to apply for HUD funding to draw down Emergency Solution Grant and Continuum of Care funding. The count is also used by nonprofits to write grants and design responsive programming, and by policymakers to decide how to strengthen our communities. The PIT count is a HUD requirement, and meeting this requirement brings in $1.5 million to our community annually. The planning began in September, and the count itself will take place on January 25th, 2018, this Thursday, and continuing through Friday. And although there are HUD requirements, the count is designed by our community for our community. There is a street count of the unsheltered, for which we must use HUD's definition of homelessness. There's a street count of the unsheltered. There is a shelter count as well, which includes emergency shelters and transitional housing. In addition, we have collaboratively customized our approach to best meet the community's needs. For example, we conduct a motel count to understand the number of seniors, children, and adults living in motels, which provides a picture of those who are under house. We also conduct interviews of families, youth, and adults, Interviews are designed with different questions based on what providers need to know about the populations that they serve. Neither the motel count nor the interviews are required by HUD. We also work with the Eddie House and the Nevada Youth Empowerment Project to count the number of homeless youth in our area. The youth and the adult counts happen simultaneously. The results of the PIT are distributed to all interested community members to shed light on the changing housing landscape, as well to help us understand how issues like affordability, availability, and the overall market are impacting housing for those who are most vulnerable. Thank you.
Thank you, Aria.
Yeah, before you go.
Yeah.
When you get the count, can you come back and tell us what your count showed?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be very happy to do that. Probably
be
next month
awesome.
we'll have the finalized numbers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wesley Griffin, come on down. Welcome.
Good afternoon again. I'm Wesley Griffin. I'm here still in favor of saving Wild Creek Golf Course. You've heard all the arguments several times before. None of those arguments have changed. We still believe that Wild Creek Golf Course is a tremendous asset to our whole community. And I'm not just talking about the Sparks community. I'm talking about the Washoe County community, Reno, Sparks, the Washoe County School District. Many of you know that one of the important children's programs here in the area is First Tee. Literally thousands of children are served by First Tee in learning good character habits and also learning golf. Some people would try to convince you that today golf is a declining industry, that it's going away. I don't know, probably most of you know that golf has been around for over 500 years. And like any industry or almost anything, nothing ever goes straight up. Things wax and wane. They move forward and they move back, and they move forward and they move back. But golf is not going away. And we need the amount of golf in this area. We're actually underserved with golf, and we're certainly going to be the way our area is growing. So we need to keep that in mind. We have not given up on this. Very likely within the next couple of weeks, a lawsuit will be filed to try to save this asset for our community. It's important to us. It's important that we keep this in mind as we grow. Most of us, I think, would agree that there's really not enough open spaces and green spaces and parks in our area. I can assure you that if this was being proposed for the city of Reno, there wouldn't be a city council member that would be in favor of it. You show me one. I would hope that our city council would take the same stance, that this is for our community. And not only is it for our community, it's for the whole community. It's kind of like what harms us, really, what harms our city is going to harm the whole county. It's going to harm as far as I'm concerned, the Washoe County School District. You can't do these things and think that somehow one particular body is going to benefit at the expense of another. When that happens, we all are harmed. So we need to keep this asset, and we need your support in doing so, and I would ask you to do that. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Anybody else in the audience wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council.
Ron?
Gino?
A couple words, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I'd just like to thank everybody for putting up with my asking stuff. You guys, the council has done a tremendous job, staff has done a tremendous job, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for all you folks have done, I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Gino. Okay, 5.1, approval of the agenda. Anybody wishing to pull anything?
Mr. Mayor Pro Tem,
Yes, sir.
I would request that we pull 7.1, the presentation to the mayor from the Gazette Journal. We'd like to move that to a meeting in the future where the mayor could be physically present for that. So there's no time crunch on it. So if we could pull that one, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Okay, Gino, did you hear that? Take that as a yes. Okay, so 7.1 will be pulled. Looking for a motion. Okay, Mr. Lawson.
Move to approve the agenda with the correction of removing 7.1.
Mr. Dare.
Second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. So we'll move on to 6.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the minutes of the regular Spark City Council meeting of January 8th, 2018. Mr. Abbott.
Move to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay, we have a motion, and Charlene, Ms. Bybee.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Okay, we're going to skip 7.1. We'll move on consent items 8.1 through 8.3. Mr. Lawson.
Move to approve consent items 8.1 through 8.3.
Mr. Abbott.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes unanimously. Should I slow this meeting down a little bit?
We're going for a new record.
Okay. General business 9.1, construction. Consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the mayor's recommendation, I'll try to slow it down, to reappoint Mr. Frank Peterson to the Sparks Planning Commission from the following pool of applicants, listed in alphabetical order: Joshua Fink, Paul Freeman, Frank Peterson, and William Wagner. Okay, looking for a motion. Mr. Abbott.
I move to confirm the reappointment of Mr. Frank Peterson to the Sparks Planning Commission through December 31st, 2021.
Mr. Lawson.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Passes.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Frank?
Right there.
Oh, hi, Frank. You'd like to say a few words to us, Frank? Thank you.
Thank you very much for the reappointment. I enjoy this
Good.
service, and we have a very, very fine staff that you all are right well aware of. And I find it so easy to work with them, and they're so dedicated and strong. And I do thank you very much for the reappointment.
Thank you for what you do,
Thank
Frank.
you.
Thank you for your service.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, 9.2, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of a cooperative local public agency agreement with the Nevada Department of Transportation for the Audible Pedestrian Push-Button Installation Project. Amber.
Mayor Pro Tem, members of council, Amber Sosa, Transportation Manager. I'm before you today seeking approval of the cooperative local public agency agreement with NDOT for the Audible Pedestrian Push-Button Installation Project. The state of Nevada DOT provides transportation alternative program funds, which are made available through FHWA, and they're administered by NDOT. In 2016, the city of Sparks applied for and received these types of funding to be used to update various signalized intersections with audible push buttons to better serve our pedestrian community, concentrating on our visually impaired residents. NDOT notified the city that $260,000 had been programmed towards this project. To initiate the project, the city would first need to enter into a cooperative local public agency agreement with NDOT. That's the agreement before you. An approved LPA will allow the project to move forward by starting the federal project approval process. Requirements include NDOT oversight through multiple design submittals, bidding, awarding, and construction of the project. City staff will be responsible for preparing design and bid documents, construction management, and construction administration. Because of the lengthy project submittal and review process, staff is requesting to begin the design process as soon as possible to be prepared to bid and award this project in early FY19, where it will come before you again for your approval. The project right now, should it move to construction, will require the city to initially fund 100% of the construction costs. It is estimated that we will be able to retrofit 20 to 30 intersections, and once the construction is complete, NDOT will reimburse the city for 95% of the costs. Approving the attached agreement does not in any way obligate the city to fund the project, but it will allow the commencement of the design portion of the process.
Good stuff. We need those things. Ms. Bybee?
The only question I have, so we'd be putting in possibly into next year's budget, but what is your timeline expected with all the approval process of when it would actually be constructed and we'd have them up and running?
Should this agreement be approved today and we can start the design process, we'd be looking to bid it and construct it in early FY19, so July, August of this year.
Okay, and how long is that time frame? Do you estimate to have it completed?
I am not anticipating the project to take longer than 2 months at the most, and I think I'm padding it pretty graciously there.
Okay,
It should be fairly quick.
Hey, Mr. Lawson?
We ready for a motion?
Absolutely.
So I'm going to move to approve the project within the cooperative local agreement with the Nevada Department of Transportation for audible pedestrian push-button installation.
Okay, we have a motion. Mr. Dare?
I'll second that. I have one quick question, though.
Okay, let me just say, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Mr. Dare?
Do we get to decide, do they decide which intersections need this, or is this something you guys get to do?
No, this is something that we're working on. We actually are working with a local resident who, she's visually impaired. She's reached out to us a couple times to make us aware of intersections that were harder for her to navigate and to get through. So we've been working with her. We've also been working with UNR and their facilities up there to identify which intersections would be best. We are bound a little bit that they have to be on city right-of-way. They can't involve any utility locations. So there are some requirements that are unfortunately taking some intersections off, but no, the list will be up to us.
Thank you.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, seeing no further discussion, please vote. Passes unanimously. Thanks, Amber.
Thank you.
9.3, Madam Clerk, this is the first reading.
Bill number 2730, an ordinance providing for the conducting and holding of a primary and general election to be held in the city of Sparks on the 12th day of June 2018 and the 6th day of November 2018 respectively, providing filing fees and providing other matters properly related thereto.
Okay, this is the first reading for Bill number 2730. The public hearing and second reading of this bill will be conducted at the regular city council meeting on Monday, February 12th, 2018. Okay, if we told you this is going to be fast, I'm going to open up the public comment. Anybody else in the public wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the council. Comments from the city council and city manager. Mr. Dare.
I just wanted to say to our staff, I was at a dinner the other day, and someone heard that I was with Sparks and introduced me, and they just started talking about how great our staff was, and it's always nice to go out and hear that and see how much people love working with our city, and I just want to reiterate that the work is being done, and it was kind of at large from each thing we did. It's always nice to hear that when you're out, because sometimes you don't always, well, sometimes it's not always said about other things, other people and stuff, so it's nice. So, thank you. Good job, staff.
I agree 100%. We get that all the time. Ms. Bybee.
I would just like to say that I just found something last night online and wanted to share with some really good news. Money Magazine just had an article out of the best cities to live in each state, and so they listed a city in every state that they found was the best city to live in, and Sparks was the choice for Nevada. So if you see it online, share it. It's on, I posted on Facebook. I think Julie put it on our city Facebook page. Share that with, if you can share it through social media, and just really big kudos. It made me very proud to pull up that list and see that we were listed as we're the city of choice.
Yay. We love it. Any other comments from anybody else on the council? Well, without objection, we are adjourned. Sweet.
Steve didn't have anything? Okay.
29 minutes.
I'd like to call to order the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting of Monday, January 22nd with a roll call.
Chairperson Bybee.
Here.
Agency members Abbott.
Here.
Lawson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Martini.
Mayor?
Absent. Dare.
Here.
Agency Attorney Adams.
Here.
Chief Administrative Officer Driscoll.
Here.
We have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. Public comment. Do I have any public comment? Seeing none,
Okay, we're in redevelopment, Gino.
okay. Seeing no public comment, I'll move on to item number 4.1, approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion? Mr. Dare,
Move to approve the agenda as is.
do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. All those, please vote.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, he said, yeah. I think Teresa got it. Item 5.1, consideration, discussion, and possible approval of the minutes of the Sparks Redevelopment Agency meeting of December 11th, 2017. Do I have any corrections or additions to the minutes or a motion to approve? Mr. Abbott?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Is that Mayor, second?
Second?
Okay.
I have a motion and a second. Please vote.
I'm an aye, Teresa.
Okay. Motion passes unanimously. Item 6.1, report of claims and bills approved for payment and appropriation transfers for the period November 23rd, 2017 through January 3rd, 2018. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Mr. Dare? Okay. Motion by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Dare. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion carries.
I'm an aye, Teresa.
Motion carries unanimously with the mayor.
Don't be laughing at me, kids.
We're with you, Gino, we're laughing with you.
Item
I'm
seven,
challenged, you know.
item 7.1, comments from the public. Do I have anyone who wishes to speak from the public? Seeing none, I'm going to close item 7.1. 7.2, comments from the agency and chief administrative officer. Anyone? Okay. Seeing none, this meeting is adjourned.